Hello and welcome to the F1 Side Pod.
Side Pod.
Post Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. I'm Cody.
Oh, what's up? I'm Noah.
And I'm Paul.
And the race just wrapped up for us. The standings as follows: Verstappen taking the race win with Leclerc.
Taking the race win.
With Leclerc close behind. Then Sainz P3, Perez P4, Russell P5 for the top five.
Good job, Russell.
Good job. Good job. Good job, everyone. Most everybody.
Nice quiet race from Russell.
He was
really
just
hear
kind of
anything from him.
in a little pocket.
He was
Just
in the
found a little-
Gasly pocket, as I call it.
Found a big wide pocket and just kind of hung out there.
Yeah.
P5.
He
Nice
got all of like 5 seconds of camera time.
Hamilton had a pretty good race.
Yeah.
He gained 6 positions.
Starting from garbage, yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
It also helped that Bottas, Alonso, and Ricciardo all had to retire for some sort of engine issues, which was nuts that it all happened at the same time.
not too sure what it was.
Yeah, but we'll start off with just big takeaways from this race. What do you guys got?
I got a big one. The racing is a lot more exciting this season.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like the past 2 races has just been neck and neck, just it's close. Everyone's just so close that there's a lot of back and forth.
And we talked about it last week, too, that the middle of the pack is way more exciting, and then the middle of the race is way more exciting.
Yeah.
So, that's,
and that was
been
what's
awesome.
nice, too, is like they're not just focused on the top 3 like they were last season. Like they're really getting more into that middle of the pack because there's actual like excitement going on.
Right. I think, too, that some of that was like more as the season goes on, whenever it started to look like
Yeah,
the points were gonna
that's
be so
true.
close
That's
that
fair.
it's like
Yep.
all anyone could look at was just
And what's going to happen with Hamilton
Yeah.
and Verstappen?
Well,
Right.
and I think also, I mean, towards really the beginning of the race, there wasn't a lot going on in the front. They kind of spread out and obviously came back together later, and the middle was where it was close,
Yeah.
including one of the fights of the day was the Alpine drivers just absolutely slugging each other out.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was, I thought, I don't know, about 8 times that they were just going to slam into each other. And I think it seemed like their engineer also thought that at any point in time they were going to slam into each other and take each other out.
I think the big takeaway and the big thing just to talk about right off the top is just like Verstappen winning, it's first, like they didn't finish last race and then they come out and win this race. So clearly Red Bull's like, got it under control.
They're back.
They're racing strong. But it was really surprising to see how our Ferrari like held on even at the end there. So what I think is interesting is now that Ferrari is kind of like on top and competing on top, just watching, like you get to see, I feel like I get to see a lot more of their strategy and then a lot more of their like how their drivers drive because what they're doing is more important. So you can see like Leclerc, it was super smart driving at the end there, like how he held Verstappen off for so long. I honestly think like at the end of the race, they had Albon yellow flagging that I think it was so close that it could have caught it very well could have cost him the race, that yellow flag, just because it happened right. Wasn't it happening right when he was about to take on DRS?
Yeah, he was right about to
And
hit
he couldn't.
DRS and
Yeah.
overtake.
And then he got his next chance on the last lap. So if there's one more lap,
he would have
it's
had
very
it.
possible he would have won this race.
Oh yeah,
So,
I would believe it.
yeah. And
Believe that.
And just side note that like, Williams kind of just, I saw on Reddit, someone referred to him as the human blue shell and I guess the point is that they just kind of go after whoever's in first, because both times that their drivers went out of the race, they ended up ruining the first place position.
Well, and I think with Ferrari too, Leclerc talked about a little bit at the end of the race. They were set up for a lot of downforce this race so that they could corner easier, and that's where they had Red Bull was in the corners, and that Red Bull was kind of running away from them in the straights, which means that any week like setup is going to be, it's already super important, but it's going to be vital to get it right and to really
get a good balance of
and like that.
If you're racing that close, then
that strategy is going to come into play super hard, which anytime there's extra strategy.
And again, like I had said previous episodes about like the DRS is actually works. Like I mean, it worked, but it like is an extreme advantage. Yeah, it's like a freaking it's a supercharge button when that thing opens. I mean, if you're in that zone, you definitely can easily pass. And then that was like a kind of a strategy that happened towards the end of the race with Leclerc and Verstappen. Like they had that double DRS zone on this track, and just like the back and forth that created, and kind of even just like strategically trying not to pass each other on that first zone, just because they knew if they did, they were going to get screwed on the second zone right afterward.
Right.
So that was pretty interesting strategies.
I think one of the other big headlines is that Hamilton made points. He scored points. I mean, with him starting down in P16, it didn't look, and his lack of pace in qualifying yesterday, it just didn't look good. I mean, Russell did fine with it, but I don't know if it was what Hamilton struggling with it or something about his car. He said his tires weren't great, but
he said that all last year too.
But the fact that
I think he was telling the truth this year.
Yeah, the fact that he came back and actually scored points, and that pit closure.
That really screwed him.
Really screwed him out of.
And honestly, like if that would have happened like 5 seconds later, he probably could have gotten that call to come and box and would have been fine.
Or if they called him into box, I think like as he was
passing the lane.
Not the piss lane, the pit lane. Sorry,
that's the piss lane.
Yeah. But no, him and once again, who would have thought last year him and Magnussen fighting half the race?
I know, that's wild.
Is nuts.
What were you saying while we were watching it about like if you told
somebody last year that Hamilton and Magnussen would be fighting for position, somebody'd be like,
who?
Well, why the hell's Magnussen in there?
And why is Mercedes fighting with a Haas?
Right.
Let's see. Also, just kind of looking at the standings, McLaren isn't dead.
No.
I'll say with a hopeful question mark.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely seem like they're figuring some stuff out now.
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the DNFs at the bottom of the standings for this race, I don't think they quite tell the story about how good of a race a lot of those people were having. Like, I thought Ricardo
was having a good one.
Having a great race, especially compared to last week. I thought Alonso was having one of the best races he'd had in a long time.
Yeah, and he really, like all three of those, like
and then
Alonso, Bottas, and Ricardo's cars just died.
And then Latifi also, super strong driver, great racing.
Yeah, those first 3 laps he did.
I mean,
I don't know how many.
He finished the race quicker than anyone.
Yeah,
and you can't say he didn't.
Well, I guess because Tsunoda didn't actually even start the race. Would be the only caveat.
But,
right.
It's true. Those 3 guys, I mean, were having honestly a really good race for their cars. Each having a different race. Ricardo's a little bit different with that. McLaren still finding its own and all that. But
Alonso and Bottas, I mean, they were solidly, and they were like battling each other, and then it was just boom.
Yeah, all of them died within 1 lap of each other. Didn't they?
Almost simultaneously.
Yeah. It was weird. It was like someone hit a kill switch.
Yeah, exactly.
On like 3 cars.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And they're not running I think Bottas is running a Ferrari engine, and then Alonso's
a Renault engine.
Okay.
Alpine's the only Renault engine on the grid.
Okay.
And then McLaren is a Mercedes engine. So all 3 different engines all died simultaneously, almost,
right?
Which is nuts.
What was it last week? You said that so Red Bull didn't finish last week, and they also shut off at the end of the race.
Well, I'm not 100% sure on Verstappen's car, but I did read a thing with Perez's. It was basically just that the low fuel. Like I guess with this new fuel, once it gets super low, just the vapor inside the empty tank is different, and it just could not keep up with the fuel injectors. Just couldn't keep up with what the engine was asking, basically, and there was just no fuel going to the ICE anymore, and it just shut off and just locked up the back tires once it shut off.
Okay.
I did also read another thing with on Max's car when he was complaining about like the handling issue, that it wasn't like a hydraulic issue. Like something happened at that last pit when they dropped his car. Like it bent something in his front suspension, and that's what was causing like this. I guess it was a stiffer steering, or he was having. But I thought that was interesting. There was like a pit accident almost.
Right. Just going back, I mean, I guess, you know, Hamilton qualified really poorly, but I think he drove pretty good. It seemed like he started.
If he wouldn't have gotten screwed on that pit stop, I think he would have
for sure.
He finished like P7.
Yeah, I was thinking P8, P7.
P8.
Yeah.
He definitely looked more like himself, like in this race. And I think you're right. If he hadn't been for that pit stop, then he would have.
Yeah, I can't really say anything bad about him.
It wouldn't be that eye-popping of a race for him if it wasn't for that pit stop. You'd just think that like they still haven't got their stuff figured out yet, which I still think that's 100%. Just they've really not got theirs together yet. But I don't think the first two races have been great for them at all. No, but but they've gotten points in both races.
At least not for Hamilton. I mean, Russell's been fine in his little pocket.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that was the shock of Q1. The shock of Q2 was Schumacher's crash, which was rough,
pretty violent.
Yeah, glad he's okay. Obviously, that car is very much not okay.
Cut in half.
Yeah. And honestly, it'd be super scary if you're on that pit wall or on the radio or whatever, and the communication is just severed and you can't figure out if he's okay.
Yeah.
Would be a terrifying, like, probably seem like an hour, but a minute or so. But yeah, glad he's okay. This track makes me nervous watching races constantly because I feel like it's so
fast
tight.
Super tight. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
blind corners. Every corner is blind corners.
Yeah. Yeah. Like at any point in time, almost every time I see them, every shot I see of somebody taking a corner, I'm like, well, we're about to watch this guy crash out. Yeah. And it's I think they're moving on from this track in a couple years, maybe. I like it. It's fun. But it just makes me nervous watching every race at this track.
Yeah, especially when they start pushing, because that's what I was commenting when we were watching the race with. It's the rear chase cam on Leclerc's car. Just seeing you just see Max kind of whip around a corner and it's just like a terrifying angle. Just seeing that car whipping around a corner and coming.
I saw on Reddit they had a side-by-side of an F2 crash from a practice and then Mick Schumacher's crash on the exact same corner. The exact same thing happening. And
I mean, there was the porpoising going on in that corner. I don't know if F2 has the same porpoising issue as F1.
Maybe not even the porpoising. It seemed like that. I think they put a bigger shield on that corner, or that the edge of the track there. Oh. And as they were going over it, it seemed like that's where, because Ocon almost lost it too in Q3.
Yeah, that's right.
He lost it and just got it back, luckily, before he slammed into the wall. But I was like, man, maybe they put a little bit of a smaller thing on that so that it's not, potentially spinning people out.
What were you saying? They have potentially one more season at this track before?
That's what I thought I heard. I thought it was a 3-year thing when they announced it, and then they're going to go to another track. But I'm not 100% on that. But I think they signed a longer deal with Saudi Arabia, longer than they're planning on using this track for sure. And they're working on another one somewhere. And then Q3, obviously, was Perez takes his first pole of his career.
Yeah, in 11 years,
which is crazy.
F1 racing. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It sucks that he got blue shelled by Latifi. But it was a great day. I bet his dad somewhere was going absolutely bananas.
What were you calling Latifi?
Nikita Latifi. Yeah. Because 2 races, 2 wrecks.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not great. I've in the 2 episodes we've had, I've already kind of shit on Latifi, and kind of in the hopes of coming on and later being like, oh man, he really proved me wrong. He hasn't.
Yeah,
it's not been that case.
No.
he is who we thought he was so far. I'd like to be proven wrong, but we'll see if that comes.
Speaking of Latifi, who's our driver of the day here? And obviously he's going to be in the conversation.
Yeah. Leclerc was given driver of the day by the fans, by the voters.
Okay. Well, our thing here, like that we've come up with last week, is that we have to agree on it. So I don't know if it's going to be really controversial or not.
What are the
I think until we agree on it, we can't move on.
Well, okay, so I think I know what you're going to say, and it pains me to say what I'm going to say.
What?
I'm going with Hamilton as driver of the day.
Snap.
Is that what you're going to say?
Let me think about it a second.
I mean, he did really well. If he wouldn't have gotten screwed by that pit, or that yellow flag in the pit lane closed, he would have worked his way up from 16th to P7.
I honestly,
and that would have been pretty amazing.
Because I was thinking about it during the race, and I was going to pick Alonso as my driver of the day.
Yeah.
And then he didn't finish, so I actually think Hamilton too.
Yeah. Nice.
I say
okay,
Hamilton.
we got it.
Okay, just to facilitate debate, I will nominate Norris. He was out in he started.
I didn't even really
he
pay
started in
attention to
Q3.
Norris.
Well, he ended up 7th, P7, and I don't remember where he started. Let me look at qualifying. Actually, I can see it right here.
God, it hurts my soul to say.
Norris started P11, and ended up P7 in a car that we honestly expected probably to fall back in the pack.
Well,
with how bad they did last week.
I'll say though, I'm pretty sure that he qualified below Bottas. And where did Alonso? We need qualifying.
Alonso P7, Bottas P8, and Norris down in P11. So yeah, he gained 2 places from that. But I mean, you could say technically the same thing about Hamilton.
Right.
Anybody down there, but
but I think that Hamilton's pit stop bungle there. Well, he didn't bungle it, but I think that kind of paints like a different picture than if he'd started, maybe if he got to probably P7, if the pit issue didn't happen, then going from 16 to 7 in a race, that's pretty good driving, all to say.
I mean, I'm willing to concede Hamilton probably deserves it.
I think maybe on different weeks it would be harder to decide and stuff. I think that he had a heck of a race for starting where he did.
I think the voters voting Leclerc is also. I mean, his defense was very smart.
Yeah.
Losing the place at times to Verstappen, and even that time they both kind of locked up a little bit and all that. So
that is
because
it definitely technique. Crossed my mind. I don't particularly like to just give it to
top
whoever
finisher.
won the race or top finish. He got 2, but I mean, that was stellar driving towards the end whenever, they were fighting. His decision making, it just made it look like he's going to have a heck of a season. He's very,
potentially one
very
more
strategic, very strong.
That little trick he did on Verstappen after that second round of them going back to shuffling around that DRS, Verstappen was trying to hang back, but then he saw that lockup and Leclerc just took off.
Yeah, I think that if Leclerc had won the race, that I guess it wouldn't have taken the piss out of it for me. So maybe Leclerc. Leclerc then, because even he kind of got screwed. He also got screwed over by a non-race related issue, like the yellow flag
from Albon,
where Hamilton got screwed by the pit stop.
Yeah, but then again, Hamilton actually drove.
Yeah,
Leclerc just kind of hung out in first into the last.
I say Hamilton. I'm still on Hamilton.
And I can't believe I keep think but I think it. I
mean, it was a big enough rise in a car that he obviously struggled with the day before.
Yeah,
it deserves.
Big time.
It deserves.
He's one of the best drivers in the entire world.
Right.
So
I say Hamilton.
Driver of the week for Saudi Arabia.
Louis.
This is not how we get our Lewis Hamilton hate podcast off to a good start here.
I will not apologize yet I will not apologize to Lewis Hamilton yet, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I will apologize to Alfa Romeo for on our first episode pretty much saying they were going to have a horrible season and be 19 and 20th in the constructors, and that is definitely not looking like that's going to happen.
Yeah, so we'll launch into our new segment, apologies. Paul's apology.
I'm sorry.
That's going to be the sound drop we're using every week now. So Paul's apology is to Alfa Romeo, the team. I would like to join in on that apology. I also not only put them P10 in the constructors and had Zhou Guan Yu as my last place driver when rightfully I should have had Nicholas Latifi. But I specifically said when talking about the camo livery in Spain, I said, what are they trying to hide? It's not like they broke something open. They have a shit car. So I would like to apologize on that as well. And also more specifically to Valtteri Bottas, who, while didn't finish the race this week for some sort of issue, he did have a hell of a drive and is honestly killing it in that Alfa Romeo when I thought they were going to have nothing, and he was, he's outqualified both Mercedes cars in only 2 weeks in the season.
Right.
And so my apology is to Valtteri Bottas specifically.
Who you apologize?
Actually, I'm going to apologize to Daniel Ricciardo. I thought his season was going to be a real stinker, and it's not been, but I think today showed that he's got car issues. He had COVID issues, and then he's got car issues. It's the second race of the season. So, I've not seen, it's not like I've got a ton of evidence for it, but I think that I'm going to apologize to him and say that his season's going to go better than I thought it was going to go.
I think McLaren as a whole season's going to go better.
Right.
Yeah. Ricciardo
is only race 2 as well, so
Ricciardo
it could have been a fluke last week.
He was hanging with Norris. He qualified right behind Norris. And so, last year when Norris was kind of going off and leaving him sometimes, they're hanging together for, so that it bodes well for him. I don't think that there's really many people out there who can really hate on Daniel Ricciardo.
I know, he's such a cool guy.
He seems super likable and just a fun dude to be around.
Yeah.
I think too that I'm not apologizing for this one, but just a point to bring up. I think that my call on Magnussen last week about them about Haas kind of settling into the hope for points position. I think that's just going to crystallize more and more with each race as they, we've got a lot of drivers that are getting stronger and stronger every week, or as soon as they start finishing a race, then
the fact that Haas is even getting points is freaking amazing.
But I think the difference between a team that gets points regularly and a team that doesn't is so huge that I just want my hope for them is that they can be in 9, 10 or 10, 11 spots regularly for the season.
I think
but
that would be...
I do think that the idea that, in my opinion, maybe the idea that they would be finishing P7 and stuff regularly or anything, I think that's just going to look more and more difficult for them as other drivers kind of get their car issues figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong. Because I want to carry them on back to the promised land. Yeah. God, I love them so much.
So those are sorry. This has been apologies.
I'm sorry.
Wait, get a clean one on that. I was goofing on him.
I'm sorry.
Why are we baby crying to say sorry?
Because anybody who apologizes is a big old baby.
Everyone who says sorry is a big old baby. Yeah. Only babies say sorry.
Men never apologize.
All right. So from apologizing for everything to not this next weekend, we got a break. Mm-hmm. And then the weekend after that,
so we will not be releasing a show next week.
Yes, yeah. Our first week off for all of our loyal listeners who are just dialed in every week and just can't wait till we drop another
both
EP.
Of you.
Yeah. Hi, Dad, again. Hi, Jeremy.
Yeah. Hi, Dan.
Nice. Jeremy and Dan.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Dang. We're gonna have to start. You know what we need
Man,
to do.
I'm slinging this podcast.
you know what we need to do.
We're on Sling TV, actually.
We need to go talk to one of those companies that does like beard oil or something, and just like super like
Harry's.
hyper target listeners. It's like, I know.
Oh, we're just going after our audience.
Yeah, I'm actually just going after all three of these guys. I know they're out there lurking and listening and stuff, but I'm just gonna really nail them with ads for stuff like, beard oils, muscle stuff. No,
Yeah.
I think they just kind of
Harry's razors,
maybe like,
bespoke box.
going. What's a product that's good for someone that's kind of like does like that a lot?
Whiskey cubes.
Like
Whiskey
a whiskey
rocks.
cube.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Something like that.
All right, so any Whiskey Rock representatives,
anything
hit
you
us
think
up.
Ron Swanson would like?
Yeah.
They're probably
Like
Yeah.
whittling stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like if they don't whittle, I feel like you sat them in a room with stuff to whittle with long enough, they would take it up pretty. I don't know that they could resist for that long.
Right.
All right, we've hyper targeted and
This has
also
been our ad break,
and
so
also
let's go ahead.
Yeah, and also alienated anybody who isn't these two specific people.
These are
that we know listen to
these
it.
are a couple of guys we know who have beards,
Luxurious
and
beards.
cool guys who
And we
probably
know
like
that
whittling.
they listen to this podcast.
At least they listened to 2 episodes. Will they
this
make it
is-
to
yeah.
a third? Let us know.
Yeah.
But this has been our ad break, so we're done with the ads.
And
Go
now-
out and buy that stuff, Jeremy and Dan.
Yeah. Actually, no, don't buy it yet. Wait till they give us money, then buy,
Buy it and then tell them
Wait
you
for
bought
us,
it because we
because
said.
we'll
Yeah.
give a promo code and you can
Yeah.
get some money off.
But to get in the door, though, we need them to go buy it
And
and
then-
then call that company and say,
I bought it
this
because-"
because of this podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
there
we
you
didn't name
go.
a company.
Yeah.
What company is this? Yeah. What's next?
All right, so what's next is Australia.
Okay.
2 weeks from now.
Down under. The cars go the opposite
In
direction
at
down
the,
there.
the Melbourne Grand Prix. Let's see. I'm trying to see which they go clockwise. It's the one around
The penis lake.
Yeah, yep, the Penis Lake. If you haven't seen the lake in the middle of the track, it does unfortunately look much like.
Don't say we didn't warn
Unfortunately
you.
or
There's
fortunately?
an E next to every episode, so
it's
explicit
explicit.
content is coming.
All right. I don't say it's unfortunately shaped that way because I think it's very funny. So I think it's very fortunate that it's shaped
For
that
us.
way because I'll giggle at it.
Yeah.
So
You think Ricardo doesn't make jokes about driving around Cock Lake or something?
I haven't spoken to him lately.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he blocked me. But what do we got as predictions now? I mean, everything's it's tight at the top. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. I don't know if you know that or not.
I think Ferrari and Red Bull have another stellar week,
Oh,
but
I do too.
I think Mercedes has an even stronger week.
I think Russell has a strong week.
Yep. I think he's going to have a perfectly wonderful normal week.
Yeah,
And you can play
he's
this
gonna
back
be in his
whenever.
own little bubble.
Yeah.
No one, not real close to anybody up front. No one
Right.
real close to him in the back.
All right. Right. I think Latifi is actually going to crash into
The lake.
straight, like not even indirectly affecting the top racers. I think he's going to actually just straight up bump Charles Leclerc this time and just bump him straight out of the race. Like just cut out the middleman.
That's
going to
be
the
your
pit
hot take
stops.
for
As he's-
Australia.
Yeah, not like
As
a
he's
crash
getting
crash,
lapped.
but just bump and disable the cars. Just cut out the whole subversive
Safety
yellow flag.
cars,
Now we've
yeah.
got a safety car.
Just go ahead and take him
and then
out.
just take it.
Actually,
Just
like a
take it.
blue shell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
really blue Shelly.
At this point, I think the teams need to strategize around.
When
Like,
Latifi
the-
crashes.
when
It's almost like another pit stop in a way. It's like how much tire wear you
Yeah.
have, and then how long you think Latifi's gonna
Yeah, all the
go.
teams kind of get together. It's like, when do we think we want to get like a free pit in?
Yeah, it's
and
like,
then
We can't pit too early. He's still out there.
right. We
Like,
gotta
just-
kind.
Yeah.
They just gotta kind of predict when he's gonna wreck so they can get that free pit in.
Right.
Okay, my non-joke prediction is I think Vettel's coming back, and Vettel's
That's
gonna
true.
score
I forgot
points.
about Vettel's coming back.
He's gonna score points. I'm not saying he will score a point. I'm not going to say points plural. He will at least get 10th.
No, that's Hamilton's spot.
That's his spot now. Yeah, he owns it.
Yeah, Vettel will get 9th.
Yeah. But yeah, my prediction is Vettel's going to come back after COVID, after having this time off. And even though that Aston Martin
and he'll be stronger than ever.
Yeah, he'll be stronger than
fighting off that COVID.
Yeah, his beard
be so strong.
His beard will be even scragglier, yeah. And if he wants a fuller beard, he can go to some place that gives us money.
We're gonna pick a place. It's up to the ball's in there.
Yeah, it's
we've said that we're willing. We've signaled willingness for beard stuff.
Yeah,
and now the ball's in their court.
That's our thing, beard stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Vettel's gonna come back and score at least a point. Even though I don't think that Aston Martin's all that great.
I don't like that because I wish I had said it. So I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to give you like $20 and you're going to put mine in first. I want to say, so I'm going to get you something clean here. I think Vettel's going to come back stronger than ever, big and virile and super strong and with like, new and improved racing abilities. And then he's going to score points, more than just 1 point, maybe at least 5.
Because he got bit by that COVID spider.
Yeah, and now he has superpowers. All right, and you just put that in front of yours and just do whatever you want with yours. But
yeah, sure. Just don't listen to this. Paul, do you have any?
I don't really have any hot takes. I think it's going to be pretty vanilla. Here's my top 5: Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Russell.
Ooh, so my top 5. Leclerc, Verstappen. Leclerc, Verstappen. Sainz, Perez, Russell. Okay. I don't know. Perez
mixed.
Perez. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's what it's going to be, at least for this first part of the season, is just going to... We just got to shuffle those 4 or 5 around.
Actually, I'm going to say Russell, Perez.
Cody's not... He's thinking...
I'm going to go Verstappen again. Verstappen, Leclerc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those have to be...
I'm going to go Perez. I'll say knowing literally nothing.
You're looking just like mine.
Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez... Russell, Sainz. I'm not going to say Sainz is going to drive a bad race because I think he's very good. I'm going to say something's going to happen.
Going to finally get out of his pocket.
Potentially something's going to happen to Sainz. Something bad pit stop, something like that.
Or a Latifi incident.
Latifi happens right after he pits and he gets absolutely screwed by it.
So what was yours again?
Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Sainz.
Whoa. Sainz in P5?
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it because I like him being up on the podium.
That's why we're saying he's thinking maybe a Latifi. He gets Latifi'd a little bit and then gets knocked down a little bit.
Also, if I don't shake it up, then we're just guessing the same thing every week.
That's what I was saying. It's a very vanilla time for the top 5.
All right. Well, we didn't prepare this.
Okay.
But let's pick a dark horse driver.
A dark horse driver.
What driver do you think?
A dark horse
or just gut instinct do you think could end up in the top 5?
What's going to be our sound going into this? Because we had the crying baby apologies.
I created the last segment.
Okay, I'm going to go for this one.
You ready? Dark horse driver.
I need something to... I'm going to borrow this. Okay.
All right. It's time for dark horse driver of the week.
Dark horse driver.
Let me try to get it a little quicker this time.
Dark horse driver.
We're leaving both of those takes in. 100%, 150%. We're leaving both those takes in. That's how magic's made.
Okay.
Dark horse driver. Who do you think could potentially be up in the top 5 this week? Obviously,
you can't say that because we just said who's gonna be.
No.
Potential.
Who has a chance to? Well, who has a chance to either P5 or podium?
If something,
I say just who's like, oh wow, that driver's super impressed us, like come out of nowhere. Don't have to be like P5. Like I mean, they could be Latifi getting like P6. Obviously,
I'll go. Mine is because I apologized to him earlier.
That's exactly who I was gonna pick.
Who?
Bottas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
I wouldn't say he's a dark horse though. If he finished the race, he's like obviously.
Well, he was up there, but
hugely.
I'll say we'll say dark horse. I'll say I think there is a chance he could get podium.
All right, I've got my dark horse,
and that's why he is my dark horse. There's a chance he could get podium.
Okay,
Okay, I was just gonna think like top 5.
I've got a dark horse, and they're coming in the twilight hours. A whisper of beats on the horizon.
In the 11th hour.
The dark horse rides closer and closer.
Did you guys sign up for ASMR? Because you're getting it.
As it gets closer, it crystallizes into an image of Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh,
And
okay.
a super strong finish. And that's my dark horse.
So are we both on Bottas?
Yeah, I'm on Bottas.
On Ricciardo.
Right.
Whose predictions have been better so far?
We'll add that up in the.
My Magnussen medium take was pretty.
My
slick.
Magnussen take this week was spot on. I said 9.
Oh, did you?
We'll go back. We'll review the tape. We'll have a stand.
But
we'll
I
do
thought
that.
Mick Schumacher would finish.
My take from preseason was that
Magnussen in the
was gonna
first
be-
third of the season, Magnussen would score P6 or
Yeah.
higher, and he
Yeah.
scored P5 in his first race.
Right.
So
I thought they would settle into the point hunt, which I feel like they maybe this is a mark in my it's a tally in my.
we'll review. We'll review in our off week. We'll take time to reflect on us, and review and figure out
time of reflection,
how
meditation.
figure out how good we've been doing with our.
How are we going to train in the off week? They're trying. You know, these drivers are training, so we got to train too. I'm going to do like 1,000 push-ups between now and then in 2 weeks.
I'm gonna do a single pull-up.
Okay.
I'll do some crunches.
Okay,
Wow.
so it looks like one of us is. I'm going to put one down for taking this time seriously to train and get better.
And it's
then
you with your 1,000.
two tallies in the goofsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Row. So cool. Or column.
Okay.
Cool.
If you can't
I'm
prove
gonna,
to me
I'm
you did
gonna,
1,000
I'm gonna complete
push-ups,
my challenge easily.
yeah. If you can't prove to me you did 1,000 push-ups in this next 2 weeks, then
I think we're gonna need a video.
I'm
yeah.
just gonna go on YouTube and deep fake someone else's video of them doing 1,000 push-ups just with my smiling face on it. Okay, excellent.
All right, so we'll figure out our predictions and have that ready for the next podcast in 2 weeks.
All right. Are we wrapping?
We want to do stat of the week.
Oh, stat of the week.
I figured about Sergio Perez.
I was gonna say. Oh, what's his stat?
How long it took for him to get his first ever pole position.
P1.
I think didn't Lewis Hamilton just break the record for most Grand Prix with a single team this race? I think that's my stat of the week.
Because it went from Schumacher had 100 and Lewis did 101.
Yeah. So I think that's stat of the week then.
So Perez, yeah. So the previous record was I think 150 races before or qualifyings before having a pole position.
Mm-hmm.
Perez had 215
Dang.
before having a pole position. Are we each doing a different stat of the week, or are we agreeing on one?
I like.
We don't have to each do a different one. But
I like because that's what I was gonna do was the Perez finally getting pole position after 11 years in F1.
I think those are both good stats.
Yeah, they're both pretty
Those
good.
are like huge milestone stats.
Yeah, big
So I say
milestones.
we don't have to do.
Yeah, we don't have to agree on.
We
can
can
do an
bring
honorable
different.
mention.
We can bring additional ones.
So our
Make it work.
Yeah,
our stats of the week are tied, we'll say, with Perez going
Okay.
215 races before pole position, which I don't know that anybody will ever go longer than that.
And then Lewis Hamilton getting the most Grand Prix with a single team.
Yeah. So bravo to everyone. Yeah.
What's our sound on this one? You got to do one now. This is stat of the week.
Stat of the week.
Okay. This is stat of the week. I like numbers. That one good?
Do that again, but a little closer to the mic.
A little closer.
Yeah,
okay.
you also need to like really ham up the like.
Yeah.
I think I liked what you did
Yeah.
exactly. I say really go for it,
Okay.
and don't take any of this out.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
This
no,
is
100%.
this is
This
like
is gold.
yeah,
figuring
okay.
it out.
Yeah.
This is stat of the week. I like numbers.
Nice.
Is it good? We got a clean
Nice.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week.
Yeah.
Great race, great ending. And hopefully Australia is more of the same. And this season continues to absolutely kick ass.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
We're not sponsored by McDonald's unless we do want to get sponsored by McDonald's and they can give us money.
I mean, if they want to pay us, we'll let them sponsor us.
We'll let them sponsor us with their beard oil.
Which is actually just French fry.
It's just fry oil. Yeah.
But so for this week, for the F1 Side Pod, I've been Cody.
I'm Noah, right up in your side pod.
And I've always been Paul.
See you guys.
We're just hanging out in your side pod. Just lurking in your side
We're the Side Pod Gremlins.